Okay. First pick Gragas. I'm just gonna ×2 the pick ban phase. Okay, now our counter pick comes in. Bard. Uh. 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 Okay, so they picked Tristana because okay, that's fine. I think another possible pick here is Callista. I think that is actually, I think that's fine. Stiver. Echo. I haven't seen this game, so I don't know. Okay. Echo. That's a very ugly comp that it's very just random. I mean, Echo can't. Okay, Azir comes in. Okay, yeah, Azir basically shuts down like everything they want to do. When you need to have a 2-punch wombo, I think it's bad, especially if Azir gets picked or some other control mage. I think a 2-punch combo is, well, Azir shuts it down well, but if the control mage is like a Veigar or something, like maybe like, but Veigar was banned, right? Like that doesn't make any sense. All right, let's slow down the speed. They have nothing reliable, right? It's all like very gimmicky. Okay. Let's watch the opening. Sorry. Okay, so IG goes for a fan, and Cloud9 going for a hard west invade. Okay. Very, very nice words by Cloud9. Okay, so this is the same exact thing. Like, but the problem is that Bard doesn't have Bard's like in between that stuff that we talked about in the SK games, so he doesn't have as much utility as say a Braum. So Balls and High go for double jungle. That's completely fine. They do a full out clear. Azir just has to play west centric. I don't like how Tristana. Okay, so already there's an issue for me. Okay, Tristana was the one to conserve the ward, not Azir, and I think that's bad. I think if you're gonna do an opening like this or whatever, Azir should be committing one of the wards, or Tristana should be committing it. Azir should be keeping it. Okay. So now, again, same exact thing that we saw in the SKT game. Braum has initiative. Braum has a lot of utility level 1. Bard has an in-between amount of utility, so you can't see, like, as much, you know, from it or whatever. And so Braum's able to recall, Braum is able to go somewhere on the map, Braum is able to do something. Bard does not gain as much from it because that's not what type of support he is early on. So while Braum can apply utility and pressure, only Bard can apply utility. Okay. And now Cloud9, alright, this I don't like. This is very bizarre. I don't understand why you send Dyrus back so early to go into the lane. I feel like this is suicide if IG knows what they're doing. Alright, this is bad. This is bad by IG. Just 4-man the tower! You have 2 teleports, just 4-man it. What? Hello? No, I said Darius. Okay, the map movements by IG are really weird. You can just 4-man it there and you don't lose out on too much. Because if you trade... Well, actually, there's no way for Cloud9 to trade that. But let's say... Okay, so if you blitz this, okay, and then you have Nargo up here or whatever, they can't just send Darius... Or, Jesus Christ. Darius up there. I almost actually slipped on Darius. They can't send Darius up to top lane. That doesn't make sense. So you basically... I don't understand. Why would you initiate a lane swap, or like a pseudo lane swap, and then throw yourself into the enemy's hands? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand what IG is doing. Cloud9 is doing an okay job, but I don't understand what IG is doing. They're completely moving away from their composition. Their early game movements are counterintuitive. It doesn't matter if Gnar misses a lot of CS XP. That doesn't matter. You can't do this. Just get the tower and then keep Gnar in bot. If Darius goes top, then you reswap Gnar after a tap off, like a relief. Tap him out. Oh, I have sound on. I'm sorry. Okay. We're good. Alright. So now... I don't like this at all either. Like, you're playing Darius Braum. I mean, it's okay, but IG's not responding properly. So, like, what Cloud9's doing is good, and now High is just able to basically protect mid, because that's the only place that attention can show up. Tristana is completely safe in top lane. Even though Gnar pings it, I think that's completely unrealistic. You have to assume that you've been completely neutralized on Vision. Can't go for that ever. Yeah. So basically, what Cloud9 needs to do at this point is they need to keep cheesing. They just have to keep, you know, IG making inefficient movements and keep running around and just doing nothing. I think High moving into the jungle is an okay response because you knew that Gragas was West-centric and you knew that he was top. One thing that I think they could have done is they could have clicked on Gragas. They could have easily read his CS, etc., known what camps were up, and then High wouldn't have wasted his time like this. And it would have been a lot easier. Incarnation playing on the east side of the lane now, obviously, because High is there. Re-swapping... No. What do you... No. That's not enough of a. You need Phage. Like, they should not reswap Darius. God, why do I keep saying Darius? They can't. They should not reswap Darius without Phage. They should have. They should have kept the line swap going. You should have recalled Braum and sent him top. They can't do this without Echo. If you want to do this, look. If your plan is to send Gragas up, then what you need to do is you need to have Echo. Okay, so this is something I call like a Chinese style dive or whatever. When you need to do this, okay, generally what happens is the jungler will do wraiths or wolves, and they will make their way top lane to match the recall and lane swap of an opponent. Generally, it's only an isolated person. So if it's the AD carry or if it's the top laner or something. If it is a bot lane, okay, so if you have two people coming, then oftentimes the support will synergize a recall to match up with the clear of the jungler, and then it will end up being a 4-man. You will have the mid laner shove in the mid wave, basically overextending on mana usage. It telegraphs it a little bit, but it's not enough to basically, I don't think players are adept enough at reading it that they can know what's coming next, because it's basically it's a 3-step punch. And so then from there, you have Rookie shove this in, and then you have him back up out of vision, and then you have him unite going up, and then when Darius gets here, etc., you don't know necessarily, is Rookie just here, or did Rookie go up top? And if Rookie went up top, and you already passed this threshold, then you just get 3-man dove, or you get 4-man dove, if the support is with the jungler. But the 4-man dive only happens against bot teams. It's a maneuver that you can do. And if it's just the top laner, then Incarnation has the ability to push in mid. So the response for Incarnation is, if High is there, it is then to immediately push in mid. But if you're playing in a dual teleport meta, if your top laner has teleport, he teleports mid. If your mid laner has teleport up, then he teleports mid. Obviously, in this situation, that would not be the case, but Incarnation doesn't have enough pushing power, and Elise wouldn't be able to help enough for the damage on mid turret to really be of any threat. Ah, fuck. If you have balls, go back to top. Alright, so we just talked about a decision that IG can do, a certain rotation. Okay, if you're gonna do that, you have absolutely no reason to be in bot lane. You know that Sivir and Bard want to recall. You can discuss that with your jungler, and then if that's the case, High has no reason to be protecting Incarnation right now, and High has no reason to protect bot lane right now, because there's absolutely no way that Gragas, etc., can get any sort of a gank on bottom, given the levels and stuff, and given, you know, the items and whatever, that it would work. So if that's happening, High should never be doing Gromp, ever. He should be top lane. If he is top lane, and Gragas and, you know, Echo are going to go for that 3-man thing against... Jesus Christ, I keep fucking up the name. Balls. Okay, if they're gonna do it against balls, then High is there, and you're able to defend 2 people under tower. If you predict that High will be there, and you have your support, then it's a 2-on-4. In which case it's a little unlucky. But if it's if it's the 2-on-4 situation, which is like a pseudo version of the enemy bot lane trying to go top lane, then you can read that, and it's all these. There's all different scenarios that go into it. It's not nearly the same as the rotation that I talked about earlier. Okay, so they hand off the blue, and that's fine. And something that they should be saying right now, I don't know if they are, but they should be saying, you know, someone should click on Echo, check the timer, and then just, you know, okay, enemy blue this time. I didn't see a ping go off on it, so I'm just, you know, saying that that's something that Cloud9 should be doing. Although I disagree with giving blue away. If your thought process is that, now first off, I don't know if they saw Elise. If your thought process is that you're just going to give blue, Echo's going to shove one wave and then recall, just don't even take the blue. Because there is absolutely no way, there's absolutely no way that any sort of pressure can go under your blue. There's no reason for you to be around Dragon, because they're not going to go for any sort of Dragon plays. Gragas has nowhere that he needs to be on the map. There's no threat to his jungle. There's no threat to his red. There's no threat to anything. Don't just hand off the blue and then have him recall and effectively waste 33% of the buff's duration. It's just not, like, good. There's no rush on that. Unless he needs it for gold. I guess that's an unfortunate situation to be in. I mean, that's a possibility. Level 7 to level 5. This is why you don't swap Dyrus back that early. Like, I don't understand. We already talked about that way earlier. We already talked about swapping him back that way and not just keeping up with the lane swap, etc. was not the correct decision. Did they kill him? No, they can't kill him. Let's talk about using no CC as CC. Okay, so no CC as CC. First off, I disagree completely with High entering this gank in human form. I think entering in human form is incorrect. I think, okay, so here, let me let me describe this. If you go for a gank in human form, okay, the only time you go for a gank in human form is when there is a high possibility that the enemy jungler will show their face. Okay, that is when you go for a gank in human form. You go for a gank in spider form if you are being proactive and your gank is aggressive and, you know, you want the most out of your utility. Okay, the other thing is using no CC as CC, which is what he could have done here. He could have walked forward. He could have kept walking forward, and what's going to end up happening is Gnar is going to juke left, juke right, juke left, juke right, and he's like, where the fuck's the cocoon? And all that meanwhile, every step that Gnar is taking to just slightly alter his avatar, etc., is enabling High to close the gap, etc. Now that's if High is entering in human form, but it's like, it doesn't make any sense. Chat did bring up something about human form if you have red buff. That is a very viable, that is something that is actually viable. But it should be said that that's only viable if it's a long gank. And that was a long gank, so let's say that High had red buff right there, okay? It is a long gank in the sense that he has chase utility, but let's say that High comes up here, right, with red buff or something, and Gnar is right here. You do not have chase utility. Do not enter in human form. Okay, so for all your Lee Sin players out there, like Elise players, what is going on with me? Hello? What? Hello? Use no CC as CC. I don't know what's going on. Darius is Dyrus, Elise is Lee Sin. Balls. Hello. All right. Interesting gank by Gragas. You know what? In all honesty, High is farming too much. Way, way, way too much. High is, like, just stop. Just stop fucking farming. Like, you have two laners that are getting their shit shoved in and absolutely getting demolished, and he's just farming. It doesn't make any sense. Stop farming, apply pressure on the map, force the enemy laners to invest in more wards, force the jungler to be more proactive, hop on the enemy jungler's back, force him out of the fog of war, take pressure off your bot lane inadvertently by doing so, play low economy with the enemy jungler. The low economy will directly translate into your enemy top and mid laner having to invest in more resources, thus, you know, taking away from their snowball potential inside of the lanes. Hold on. Pause this. Okay. Alright. Sorry, I just had to get that song name. I apologize. Some like really nice song just came on that I really like and I didn't know its name. Very important, very important. Can you imagine that, like, during a cast or something, someone's like, hold on, my HTC phone is ringing, like, during a cast? That'd be amazing. No. Alright. Nice teleport. And, okay, that's fine, that's fine. Alright, so let's talk about some stuff right now. First off, High needs to stop farming. The Sightstone, I do not think was as important. I think alright, so the Sightstone, was not as important as the priority on Tier 2 boots. And the reason that I say that there's a priority on the Tier 2 boots is because Gragas took a much slower, oriented path, into his itemization, etc., and how he went about, you know, playing the map. I think if Elise went, you know, Tier 2 boots, priority over the Sightstone, etc., and simply runs around the map, forces Gragas out of the Fog of War, and again, it just goes back to the stuff that we talked about with, you know, inadvertently taking pressure off of the bot lane and forcing the enemies to slow down their snowball, it would be a much better playstyle. Having wards don't really matter, because Rookie doesn't care if, you know, you gank him. He's gonna win the lane anyway. He doesn't, you know, like Incarnation doesn't matter if Gragas is in vision. It doesn't, like, Darius Balls doesn't care if he can see Gragas. It does not change the fact that he is literally a bottom in the lane. I'm not saying don't go Sightstone, but don't prioritize it in the way that they are prioritizing it. Now, they need to take the fact that Bard and Gragas just messed up. Take Dragon. Yes, okay. Take Dragon. Balls. Unfortunately, he can't freeze that, judging by that lane. Oh, wait, can he? I'm sorry, red was on top of blue. Can he? What do you... Oh, okay, yeah, just disregard it, actually. No, okay, that's fine. I wish I could see the top lane right now. I don't have enough information on it to make a accurate macro statement. But that's fine. Okay, so after Dragon, they end up sending Tristana bot to pick up the wave, and that's fine. Now send Tristana mid. Now what they need to do... Okay, so what IG needs to do is they need to find a way... Here, so let's talk about this. Okay? IG needs to find a way... I know that the HD bar is annoying. I apologize. They need to find a way to keep this locked for Tristana, and they need to have Gragas protecting this region, okay? And they need to have Bard in this region, basically at all times, okay? And then you just kind of have Bard bounce, you know, back and forth, etc. between locations. Bard also at this point should already be swapped out into Sweeper, and Gragas should also be swapped out into Sweeper, which he is. Echo should also, I think, have Sweeper in this situation, although maybe he's getting the Trinket because, actually... The Trinket, I guess, is okay, the yellow Trinket, because he had so much initiative in lane. He did get the solo kill, and then he got another kill off of a teleport, so I think that's a reactionary purchase to what was occurring. But basically, what needs to happen right now for Cloud9 is they need to acknowledge that they have two losing lanes. They're losing in top, and they're losing in bottom. And if IG plays accordingly, they will lose really hard in bottom. Dragon is no longer up. I don't know what that was. Dragon is no longer up, so there is no neutral objective to really contest, and your jungle is run dry. So what Cloud9 needs to do now is they need to work around just getting like a 5-man stalemate in mid that demands attention. You need to use Azir, you need to use the Cocoon, you know, use use Flash Apprehend, use Braum, etc., to demand that Gnar or Sivir give up one of their lanes and come and aid mid. And then by doing that, you kind of enter into this hyper low economy situation, but their team benefits from that a lot more right now than IG does, because it would enable Tristana to stay ahead, it would enable Azir to accelerate a lot faster than Echo, even though Azir is a little bit behind right now, and it would neutralize the disadvantage that Darius, yes, I said it! I said it right. Darius. Cloud9 is losing bot. They're losing bot really bad right now. No, Cloud9 won bot lane, okay? They won, but right now they're losing it. They won it, but they have the potential to lose it, and they are, well, now they're not losing it because of how Sivir, but they were losing bot lane temporarily. I just explained why they were losing. I just explained how they were losing about the neutral objective. There's nothing for them to do. Yeah, and Kid's doing the NA. It's terrible. Although he's not as far behind, you know, as he could be, and that would make it that much worse. But the fact that he's an eye-edge, and Tristana's an eye-edge, and he's already down the BF sword, it really puts, you know, the onus on IG to do something to take away from that, because look at Tristana. Tristana shouldn't get tier 2 boots at this point. Should just sit on Zeal and do the siege. Do the siege, complete the siege, then get tier 2 boots before you complete your item. If the siege persists and the siege lasts long enough for the next you know, neutral contestation to come up, whether it's over a jungle camp or if it's over Dragon or something, and then just actually complete Static Shiv or whatever you're gonna end up getting, and it would be fine. No. Look. Let me elaborate on something, okay? They did not lose bot lane. Cloud9 won bot lane, and I talked about what they need to do now to keep the momentum going, to pull away from IG's opportunity to, you know, bring stuff back, for IG to, you know, pull stuff back in their court, you know, whatever. Cloud9, after they win bot lane, they begin losing it. And I guess maybe that is difficult for some people to grasp or to come to terms with. This is not solo queue. Because you kill the tower and you rotate mid, it does not mean you're winning. This is a different game. There is different rules. Simply because it takes place on Summoner's Rift does not mean this is anything like what solo queue is. There is different rules here. There is different rotations. Everyone is on the same page. There is no abusing lack of communication. There is no abusing things that you can abuse in solo queue. There is different priorities. There is things that are not a priority in this. You know, etc. There, like, you know, a lane looking one way in solo queue can be good in solo queue, but it could be bad in competitive, and that's just something that you have to, you know. And so IG was attempting to do it, but they gave up. Now this is the problem with Gragas versus Elise. Imagine if Elise had tier 2 boots here. Imagine if, you know, Elise was running around with tier 2 boots. This is so painful because basically they could literally wrap a noose around IG's neck and constrict them to this. And then, you know, off of this, etc., you can just, again, you can do the 4-man in mid, and you can demand that Sivir comes up, but because you have the mobility advantage, the edge advantage, you can just keep that momentum going, and you can just kind of beat them to the punch, even though they're trying to match you to, you know, every step of the way. They can't. because of team dynamics. But Cloud9 is not really playing to their strengths. I don't think that they're taking advantage of their team comp or the things that are going for them. I think grouping 4 and bottom is absolutely atrocious. This is the biggest coin flip in the entire world. Kid, can you stop auto attacking the minions? Kid, could you recognize how fucked Cloud9 just was and not shove that? No. Why would you not slow push that back into them? And then if Sneaky does Kid a favor and shoves it back into him, Kid needs to give him a fucking blowjob for just continuously ruining the lane. And it looks like Cloud9 would have continued to ruin the lane. It looks like that was the decision that they were gonna make. It's a huge macro error. It's a complete blunder. Hai talked about abusing lack of communication in teams. Okay, so let me respond to that really quick. The lack of the communication in the teams is not as big as a lot of people think. I think I replied to Amin on Twitter about that. Samsung White, okay, when I lived with them, they were called MVP Ozone at the time. People, some people were commenting, "You didn't live with Samsung, you lived with MVP." I lived with them 2 months up until, or no, a month and a half before they signed with Samsung. Same players, same fucking whatever. And so when I lived with them, their scrims were 70% English. Oh, 5 Koreans, 70% English. Okay, the only times that they would use Korean or something was. It wasn't even really about calls or anything, because when you get to this level of play, that type of communication, that type of stuff is done mostly outside of the game. And unless you're doing something extremely cheesy, extremely abnormal, you're not really going to find communication issues. So if Hai is talking about abusing the miscommunication of, Chinese and Korean teams, etc., you have to be doing something very abnormal, and I'm not seeing anything abnormal that would warrant that statement. An example of, I'll bring up something that I talked about when I was on SHC. There was 1 week where Gambit was using subs. If anyone recalls this, okay, there was the week where Genja was still playing, and this was Summer Split 2014. I was coaching SHC, and Impaler asked me, they were at the studio, and I was on the Skype call with them. What should they do? And I told them, okay, disregard what we had practiced. Okay, and you are going to 4-man dual tower push because the subs had no competitive experience, okay, relative to the other players. Edward was the only person that spoke English, or that spoke Russian, okay? So you had people that could not talk to Genja, okay? And Genja would be a crucial part in that because the 4-man dual tower push heavily affects bot lane and it affects top lane. So it leaves Edward to literally translate everything, and that's too much pressure. So I told him, just do 4-man tower pushes, cheese out mid, do this, do that. That's the type of stuff that you can do. But you can't abuse language like Korea, Chinese, etc., unless you're going to do something really abstract, and it's something that is highly unlikely for these players to have ever practiced. Abnormal calls. I'll see it after the game. Okay. All right. We'll. Yeah. No. If he's making the statement about doing very abnormal calls, then that makes sense. And that's a very on-the-fly decision. And it would be very hard to analyze that. Without a lot of other info added. I mean, I'm sure that you can see that there's abnormal calls, and you can reverse engineer them and try to see the logic in it, and then you can determine what it's about. But it has potency. Anyways, let's get back to talking about this. Alright, so Cloud9 is doing everything okay here. Everything's actually really okay. This is like the nuts right now. Both top laners have teleport up. I think, okay, this is bad. Don't attack the tower. Alright, don't, well, actually, I guess, alright, never mind. Kids recalling. Let's talk about before. No, okay, never mind. I'm sorry. I'm like looking at like 6 things at once. Okay, Rex Shurima. And now IG's bot lane is in so much pain. Oh my god. Send Tristana top, send Dyrus bot. Oh god. No! God damn it! You got the teleport. Let's pause. You got the teleport. Back up here, okay? Erect Shurima. Alright? Then, with Shurima, shut down the wave, Fog of War pressure, okay? Using your sweeper lens, you have 2 up, alright? Come over, deny vision around here, okay? You know dragon's coming up. Add in vision control, okay? Have Braum recall, reset Sightstone. Oh, wait, his Sightstone have 1 charge? Oh, shit, it's empty. You still have wards, though. Okay, have Braum recall then even sooner. Reset Sightstone, get down here for dragon, okay? Have Daria, balls. Okay, have balls shove in this last wave and then instantly, actually no, have him shove half of this wave. I can't see the wave, I can't make a complete statement, but I think this wave is almost already dead. Have him shove half of the wave and then walk down to dragon. Have a contested dragon fight, okay, but it's not going to be that contested because you have too much power over the vision, and the investment that they need to commit is too high. They are stockpiling too much gold, they're stockpiling too much resources, and you just won the teleport advantage. Complete dragon, have Darius sit in bot lane, okay, freeze bot lane to the best of his ability, and then send Tristana top lane, send Braum, Elise, and Azir mid. Elise eats wraiths, covers mid, make sure that mid is cleared, then eat wolves, then bring Elise back to mid, 1-3-1. Balls and erect. Fuck. No, this is all bad. 2 coin flippy. 2 coin flippy. You secure their blue, but then you give up control. Look, you do this, okay, great. You kill the top tower for them, and then you're gonna eat the neutral objective? What? You have hyper initiative, you can get 2 steps ahead of them, and then, instead of going 2 steps ahead of them, you instead just cash out your check. And you just take it and you leave with it, and it's like, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, you're on, like, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and, like, a question comes up, and it's like, what is bigger, Uranus or the moon? And, okay, and then unless we're talking about some of your mothers, okay, like, or, like, no, I'm kidding. But, so anyways, fucking... You have hyper initiative. You can get 2 steps ahead. You can get 3 steps ahead. But then instead they just cash out, and it doesn't even make any sense. All right, like, why would you do this? So let me show you what's gonna happen. They counter jungle the blue. Mid gets shoved back into them. They have no control on this ring or on this ring. Okay, so it's like an 8. All right, they lose control here. They give up dragon, and then what happens after dragon? Anyone know? Anyone wanna, say something? Take a guess before I say it. Go ahead. You can see. Okay. What's gonna happen is Azir either has one of 2 choices. He can either go like this, okay, and he can try to make it back to mid lane, but that won't do anything at this point. Okay. Or he can try to go to top lane, but that doesn't do anything either. Okay. And then you have Elise, who's leashing the fucking thing. What does Elise left to do? She can either get wolves or she can get Gromp if it's up. I can't see if it's up from this freeze frame. What's going to happen here, though, is they get the wave in mid, you lose the wave in mid. So this is obviously net gold. So it's +1, plus like 130, minus 130. Okay, so total net 260. Okay, and then you end up potentially losing the tower. All right, and then you're going to lose dragon, and then the lane, which was so fucking bad for them, okay, which you literally could have just tied them down and done BDSM with them, all right, is instead, now what's going to happen is they're only going to have 2 people complete dragon. They're going to be like, okay, we got this, you go and handle that. One person goes here, shoves in the little wave, this one, which will be colliding down here, and then the 2 people will unite with them, push this tower, trade this for this if you don't recall. If you do recall, they match the recall. This is all gone, this is gone, Scuttle's gone, Gromp's gone, this is gone, no wave here, complete fog of war, and now look, oh look, Cloud9 gave you a beautiful fucking wave, and the only locations for Cloud9 to go to now are telegraphed, and there's nothing for you to do. And now Cloud9 has to invest more resources ward-wise than you, and it's perfect. Like, I know I'm giving IG too much credit. We're not talking about what the teams will do or what they're capable of. We're talking about what they should do. A lot of people, I feel, when they do VOD review, they only talk about players and what they do as if it's good. They don't look at the steps. They're like, okay, like you know, I could be like, you know, one person right now and be like, now IG is, you know, they're taking dragon and this is very good. It's like, okay, why is it good? And it like no, look, okay, taking dragon is good. Why is it good? Because it does something to Cloud9. What does it do to Cloud9? Well, it does X and Y. What does X and Y translate into 2 minutes into the future? Okay? Because X and Y also share a fucking family tree right here. And then this branches off into the possibility of this, okay? Or it goes down here into this. But if this happens, then it opens up a, you know, a branch that goes like this, which is negative, and it's counterintuitive for them to do, for them to ultimately get to this. And then if they try to get to this, there's a fucking wall, and you can't do it. Okay, like, you can't do stuff like that. So, I feel like when people do analysis, they don't talk about all the aspect. They don't talk about the economy. They don't talk about the geometry. They don't talk about the speed at which stuff occurs. They don't talk about, you know, positioning, fog of war. They don't talk about investments. It's really frustrating. And I think that's what you have to do, because you can't just look at something as if it's good or if it's bad. It's not black and white like that. Sometimes it is black and white on end results or a beginning result, but the in-between is much more complex. And eventually, I hope that League gets to a point like where stuff like this is black and white. But for the time being, it's obviously not black and white because we see mistakes like this occurring, and that's what I find. You know, again, now there's some stuff I'm saying right now which actually could be wrong if I spend more time talking about this and, you know, going over it. And of course, there's so much still left to be learned about League of Legends, and no one will ever understand it 100%. No one. There's always going to be stuff that everyone can learn from each other, but the point is to improve. So. Even though it sounds like throughout the majority of this that I'm just talking about negatives that everyone's doing, that's all I'm seeing. I'm seeing how much more stuff can be improved, and then upon that improvement, how you improve it even more. And that's what I like to look for when I watch a game. Okay, so it's like, you know. Fuck. Fuck. His flowcharts. Fuck. I'm not saying anyone has to watch this /Shadow 9. How did you change the O? The O was capital. The O was capital like 2 days ago or something. I don't know how you changed it, but... I'm not saying I'm the only person that knows this kind of stuff. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that I think this is how stuff should be viewed, because you have some people in chat right now that are saying, like, or that have asked me, and also on Twitter, why do I only talk about the negatives? Or why do I talk so much about hypotheticals? Or, you know, futuristic stuff, and I don't understand, like, why would you just want me to talk about the here and now? That this isn't commentary, this is review. I'm also not going to analyze something that I think is bad, you know, too much in depth, unless there's more to it. But again, you know, whatever. Okay, so it's an echo bottom, and sending echo bottom. It's okay, I guess. Cloud9 is in a very, very, very nice position right now. Teleport up on balls. Balls stop pushing. Balls! Let's say they lose this fight. Okay, chat, tell me. Okay. Tell me. Alright. Let's say that Cloud9 goes for this fight. Okay, this is why I don't like decisions like this. This is like a 60-40, alright? If Balls teleports here, okay, and you bring a 0 over, and high Elimination Sneaker in this position in order to get caught, okay, potentially. What if there was a very good flank ward, you know, for some sort of a teleport? What if they just got sandwiched and they lose Baron? What ends up happening? What ends up happening? Okay, yes, you lose Baron and you lose Inhibitor, and then you have 3 lanes that will pulsate. And so that's really fucking unfortunate, because what'll happen is you'll die, you'll lose Baron, okay? This wave will be here, so they won't be able to make any use of this, but what will happen is this wave will shove up, okay? And what that ends up happening, you will have one person instantly teleport bot lane, okay? You will lose this tower, alright? This will probably be Echo that teleports bottom, okay? And then with Echo teleporting bottom, what'll end up happening is Gnar and Gragas will just actually ignore any minions that are mid, and they will kill this tower. Okay? And then if they kill that tower, and then they recall, then what ends up happening is you send 4 up mid, you send 1 up here, and then you have this this lane pushing in, and then you unite, okay? You push this up to here, you bring it down, you unite here, and then you unite, and then you do a siege with Baron. And then ultimately you end up losing the Inhibitor. You will lose the Inhibitor about 3 minutes into the future, but you will lose an Inhibitor nonetheless, or you will just simply lose every single outer turret, depending on how Cloud9 goes about playing it. But the position that they've taken, the setup that they've taken, is very poor. Cloud9 wants bot lane to be shoved into them. They want Balls to be down there. They want Balls to be using that as a reserve bank. And you just actually want to have 4 people in mid right now. You do not want anything to do with top lane. You want top lane to be shoved into you. IG does not want top lane to shove into you unless they can win a coin flip fight. But they cannot win a coin flip fight because you have vision control over the neutral vision, and you have complete vision control over the non-neutral vision, which is their own jungle. So they can't fight, you know? I don't like High's build at all. I don't think you need to be doing this when you have Azir and when you have Tristana. No, but all right. So Smith said I think they were looking for a ball splash. Don't do that. No matter what, like I said, it's like a 60-40 or a 65-35. That is not enough odds for me to feel comfortable going all in on. That is not enough. If your tournament life, okay, now obviously this is not tournament life, but it's pretty close to tournament life. Okay, if I'm to give like a poker analogy or something. You know, Cloud9's on the bubble. All right, that is not high enough for me to want to commit. There's so many other ways that you can go about outplaying your opponents and getting more favorable odds, and you have more, you have higher EV decisions that you can be making. Okay. No, sneaky! Stop! Oh! If top lane's here, okay. If bot lane's here, all right. What does IG do? What does IG do? Now, sneaky shoving would be okay, but it's not okay relative to Dragon Timer. Okay. Hello? Wait until Dragon is going to be coming up in between 45 seconds to a minute, and then shove it. Do not shove it yet, because if you shove it right now, you give them too much time to respond. You give them too much of a favorable position. You give them choices that they should otherwise not have. Like, ugh. What does IG do? Does IG want to take a fight in mid against Azir? No, they can't take a fight in mid against Azir. You have Shurima. You can just raise Shurima. They can't siege your mid. They can't siege bot. They can't siege top. They can't overextend before a dragon. They can't commit wards into your jungle, at your wolves or your wraiths. They can't commit wards into the mid lane 2 minutes before a dragon. It's too much of an investment. The siege itself would take between 40 seconds to a minute and 20 seconds. That's too much time when you factor in recalls and then movement speed to dragon. You'd end up giving up too much position because Cloud9 only has to be reactionary. Ugh, wave management. This game is not good. Look, look, look. You think Cacao likes this right now? Now imagine, okay, if the lane was right here in top. Imagine this. What the fu- What does IG do? They don't like this. They don't like this at all. They're being forced to fight. They're like fucking pit bulls at Michael Vick's. Like, they hate this so much. They hate themselves. Holy shit, they're more trapped than Saddam Hussein. Like, the other thing about this is everything they can do becomes telegraphed. Okay? Just, like, remember that as well. They're so fucked right now. Yeah, go ahead. Hold on. Let me get Cloud9 right now. Hold on. Fucking Cloud9 better. I think fucking Cloud9 stands for coin 9. I'm gonna flip this coin 9 times, okay? And then that is gonna be their fucking decision making with what they're doing outside of Baron. Okay. No! Stop it, coin 9! Like, what? Come on! I want more. I just want them to play better. I really like High and Incarnation a lot, and I respect Lemon Nation a lot as well. And I like it's frustrating for me to see, you know, like them flipping coins like that. This is good. This is a nice cheese, but again, it's still like 70-30. It's cute though. That's cute. I like this is a decision that I think is very cute, and I can understand it. But at the end of the day, what happens? What happens, coin 9? Okay, like, You got the Baron, but I mean, it's okay. That could have gone worse, okay? And that's all that I want people to take away from that, is that it could have gone worse. And I understand that it sounds like I'm being very rude and like condescending and stuff, but I'm doing that to the stream, you know, so that you guys can actually understand the magnitude of these decisions and how it's not okay. Obviously, if I'm like speaking to professionals, it's not going to be spoken like in this manner, but this isn't okay. And so, you know, I'm trying to, you know, send that message to you via my voice and obviously some of the words that I'm choosing. I don't actually hold any negativity or anything against these people. Just to get that out there, because I know that there's probably some people like, wow, that sounds like an asshole. I'm only doing it to basically get that message across to you. But yeah. Coin 9. Fuck. What am I watching? This is... So what you're telling me is Azir and Braum could have died too. And trades like this favor IG because it enables them to regain ground. And then minions, you know, periodically get stronger, which will ultimately benefit them. And then shutdowns go... Like, this isn't good. This isn't... It ends up being okay, but it's not okay in the long run. No, Sneaky is playing very good mechanically. Mechanically, he is playing astounding. I don't like High's build. I really, really, really don't like High's build. I think this is absolutely unnecessary, the way that he's building. Okay. Now that was a replay. Let's just go forward a little bit. Let's see what happens after the reset. Okay, so they send Echo top, and then IG backs up. I guess he's just waiting for confirmation that, you know, Darius isn't there, which is fine. And now all you have to do is you have to let top and let bot shove into you. Okay? Although bot shoving into Cloud9 isn't as bad. It would be bad though if the lane locked, like right here. It would be really bad if the lane locked, and then slow pushed in either direction. It would be very bad. So just take a fight in mid, give up the inhibitor, live to fight another day. Do not fight. Just give it up. Just give up the inhibitor. Just give it up, IG. Okay. They need to just keep, you know, delaying basically, because they need to take an opportunistic fight. They cannot take a, you know, they can't go headstrong into a fight. They cannot try to cheese or anything against any of these, like, champions. Right, well, I guess they could cheese balls. That's possible. Now this is good by Cloud9. This is like everything that they just did. This is good. Although, hold on, let me go over one thing that they could have done better that I'm seeing right now. Tristana can shove this last wave, because if Tristana shoves in this last wave, but she does it slow, like let the waves collide for a little bit and then shove it in. That way it doesn't just run straight to the tower. Like what you need is you need not this minion wave, but you need the next, or no, yeah, this minion wave would be fine. Actually, I'm sorry, yeah, judging by the positions. If Tristana was here right now, you want this minion wave and then this minion wave to collide right around here and then hit the tower. That way if someone goes to pick it up, when you factor in your recall and then you running down mid, they could end up ultimately being split, and then you can get the inhibitor. And then top shoves into you, so if you do get the inhibitor and then you fall back, there again is no neutral objective, and then you just freeze top lane, or you don't freeze it, but you slow push top lane. And you just make use of it, eat their jungle, eat your jungle, and just bleed them out at that point. High could have gone Zeke's. That's an interesting statement, and I think that it is true. Also, I think that High should go Ionian boots here. I don't think he should have Stork Pen boots. I think he should definitely just have Ionian. No. Just stop taking these fights. Ugh, my god. They win because of how far ahead they how far ahead are they? It's like 7k gold ahead. They win because of how far ahead they are, but we saw that the fight was a little bit dicey. There, you know, if they rerun that situation, you know, X amount of times, there's chances that Azir goes down. There's chances Darius goes down, you know, etc. I don't like... This is just a personal preference. I understand that there are people that they like this. They like taking pride or confidence in their ability to put themselves into situations that their mechanics can carry them, or the gold that they have can carry them. But I think a more methodical, you know, stranglehold type of playstyle is better. So when I get frustrated at stuff like this, the call is acceptable given how far ahead they are, but I personally don't like it when you factor in everything, like it's a tournament or it's, you know, it's Worlds or whatever. But I'm just thinking of like StarCraft when I say stuff like that. But yeah, Mercury Treads is an option for Elise here, yes. But High was showing that he wanted to go full-on aggressive, but the Ionian Boots is in between aggression and defense, whereas Merc Treads is pure defense, Sork Pen is pure offense. I think the hybrid stats, well, stats in the sense of the CDR equates to both offensive and defensive means would be better. And then obviously Mercury Treads can also be used offensively, you know, reducing tenacity, thus allowing for more control and utility. But in this sense, I'm weighing it much more defense than it is offense. Like it would be like 80-20. Whereas Ionian is like a clear cut, like 55-45 or, you know, 50-50. Whereas Sork Pen Boots is literally a 100-0. So yeah. Now they bait them out into Baron, and this is completely fine. Except you don't need to actually commit to the fight. Like, let's see what happens. Don't even start Baron. Starting Baron's bad. Wait for top to get there. Wait for mid to get there. Send balls bot lane, okay? And look to teleport in. If you don't teleport in, you back up out of Baron. They do not have the speed of shredding Baron, okay? They cannot just go on to Baron. Their top lane is unfavorable. They have no minions in mid lane, okay? If Incarnation and Lemonation, Balls, etc., or Incarnation, Lemonation back up over here, High and Sneaku up here, and then they go on to Baron. The angle of approach for Azir and for Braum is too good, okay? The angle of approach from a teleport from Balls is too good. The angle of approach from High coming down from the north is too good. Sneaky would be the only one out of position in this case, okay? But with top lane about to break and like weigh in on them, and then mid lane is going to come down and then push in on them, etc. If they back up and then they try to go for Baron, Incarnation could come around here, stop this wave, and then this wave has a clear shot here. If Darius is down here and he's shoving it in, then there's a clicking there's a clicking clock or clicking time bomb or whatever on IG, and the pressure eventually keeps weighing in, and then they will be forced to make a decision impulsively, probably. And if we're going to talk about language issues, I think this is a situation that, even though it can be practiced a lot, in the heat of the moment, how players are feeling inside of that game, I think can heavily be influenced. And this is why we don't. This is why we don't do clicking climb bomb like that. Yeah, exactly, Haku. How can CDR be a defensive stat? You're a moron, LS. Exactly. That's what that's what that's what people don't understand. Oh man. Do you mean to tell me that if Gangplank can eat his orange more often, he gains more HP, and that is defensive? I mean, it can also be offensive. It depends. Again, it's situation. That's why I'm saying CDR boats can be both offensive and defensive. They can also be pure offense. They, depending on some factors, but for the most part. Now it looks like they're gonna do it, but still, they're not sending Darius into the bot lane, and it just doesn't make any sense. But whatever. Macro mistakes, but they end up running it out. Sneaky played absolutely phenomenal. Incarnation had a few good plays with his Sand Soldiers. I don't like some of his ultimates, and then he got a little bit unlucky. I do not like how High built. I do not like how High played out the early game, how he played out the mid game. Feels like Cloud9's weakness is definitely their wave management. And it feels like IG, IG kind of was doing what they could, but they still made a lot of errors, in their play. So